Late breaking. This is WMBF News Today at 5.
There are fewer school buses rolling in Horry County, and the ones that are showing their age. I'm live this morning with what the district is doing to protect your kids.
You have a chance to keep our community safe during big events. I'll explain how the new program will work.
South Carolina State University in crisis mode this morning. A plan to shut the school down could mean no aid for thousands of students who depend on it. We've got the latest.
Then 75 inappropriate photos have been posted online of underage girls in the Carolinas, while investigators are having a hard time finding those behind the screen.
But first, temperatures this morning, not too bad. Everybody is above freezing. Now, just barely above freezing in Laurinburg, 33 degrees. But we're at 39 in Florence, 45 in Myrtle Beach. Guys, we are in for a warm-up today. It's going to be absolutely gorgeous. One thing I will keep my eye on, though, as we head through the morning, is going to be the development of just some light fog. Obviously, right now, no major issues. Lumberton looking at just a little bit of light fog, but it shouldn't slow you down. But I will continue to watch out for that as the morning rolls on. But so far, your morning commute looking great. Don't forget the sunglasses. You're going to need them once again. Temperatures climb through the mid-40s by 8 o'clock, and then we're in the 50s by 10. I'll let you know where we top out coming up at 5:15.
Marla, thank you so much. 5:01 right now. Hard to believe, but Horry County School District transports more than 20,000 students on a daily basis to and from school. That takes a lot of coordination, a lot of manpower, and, of course, a lot of school buses. Katrina Helmer joins us live from Myrtle Beach High School. Katrina, the wear and tear on those buses really starting to show now, isn't it?
They really are, and some of these buses, just to prove that point, are 20 years old or more than 20 years old. On top of that, they don't have as many buses this year as they have in years past. Adding to the stress, a couple of the buses are actually out of the mix, seeing as there have been 2 fire situations in the past week. Now, the first happened last Monday when students from Myrtle Beach Primary and Elementary were evacuated when the bus started smoking. I'm told the mechanics determined a short in a dimmer switch melted a few wires, sparking the fire. The second issue was last Wednesday. Kids from Riverside Elementary had to be evacuated when the bus started smoking. In this case, mechanics determined the turbo in the engine went out. In both issues, all the kids were evacuated, no one was hurt, and they immediately took the buses to the shop. The Department of Transportation for the district would love to have all new buses to try and avoid unforeseeable accidents like this. But updating the fleet is costly and takes time, partly because the fleet is made up of state and county issued buses. The state provides a fleet of buses for each of South Carolina's school districts. They will only transport kids on state buses who live further than 1.5 miles from school.
So if we want to provide that service in Horry County, we have to provide that on our buses to be able to do that. Back in 1995 or so, our board said that's what we was going to do, which was a very good decision, and it was the right thing to do. Majority of your population lives around within 1.5 miles of the school.
The district is currently working on a plan to try and update their fleet. Coming up in the second half hour, I'll have more details on just how they hope to do that. Reporting live in Myrtle Beach, Katrina Helmer, WMBF News.
All right, thank you, Katrina. And plans are moving forward for a new middle school in Horry County. The school board chairman tells us it will be in a 30-acre lot just behind Plantation Storage. That's off of Carolina Forest Boulevard. Students are expected to be in that new school by 2017. New roads and stop signs will eventually be installed in the area. Both the county and school district are working out those costs. The board also purchased a 21-acre lot, which may be used to build a new elementary school.
Well, right now there is a brand new program to put more eyes and more ears on major events happening throughout Myrtle Beach.
Yeah, this comes at a perfect time with the Myrtle Beach Marathon this weekend and Memorial Day right around the corner. Jenna DeAngelis is live in the studio to explain. Jenna, good morning.
Good morning, Theo. That's right. This new program is in the very early stages. In fact, it's so new, there's not even a name for the group yet. Right now, Myrtle Beach police officers are referring to it as an ambassador program. The driving force behind the program is your safety. Ambassadors will act as volunteers to serve as support for police during large events. When big crowds come in, police have their hands full, so volunteers can help alleviate some of those duties. For example, directing a crowd to where parade starts and finishes. The role of ambassadors is to put a friendly face on the community, but most importantly, be ready to answer questions and provide information to those in need for both locals and tourists alike. I'm told this group of volunteers will all be dressed the same so they can be easily picked out of a large crowd. There'll be an extra element in making making sure large events run more smoothly starting Memorial Day weekend.
What we want to do is take that effort for Memorial Weekend and also give it the rest of the year. So, like, again, whether we have parades, any type of outings at Market Commons, we'd ask the ambassadors to be out at those functions so they can give the public the information they're seeking.
City Council got to hear this idea from the police force earlier this week. Coming up, how you can get involved and help make a difference. Live in the studio, Jenna DeAngelis, WMBF News.
Well, the family of 3 Muslim students killed in Chapel Hill Tuesday night believe they were the victims of a hate crime. Police are trying to determine whether or not that's true. But the suspect's wife says the shootings were over a long-standing parking dispute. Online, the hashtag Muslim Lives Matter is close on the list of national trends to the hashtag Chapel Hill shootings. Muslim leaders say there's a double standard at play, blaming anti-Muslim rhetoric for hate crimes. When the suspect allegedly killed the 3, they were execution shots to the victims' heads. Police are searching the suspect's computer, but say they haven't turned up with any concrete evidence of a bias against Muslims. Police say they understand the concerns that it was a hate-motivated crime, and they're exhausting every lead to determine if that was the case. David?
All right, Mandy, thank you for that update. South Carolina business exported nearly $30 billion worth of goods last year. That means for the 5th straight year, our export numbers have gone up. The Palmetto State was ranked as the top exporter of tires and completed cars. The new number comes from the Department of Commerce and the South Carolina Ports Authority. Governor Nikki Haley says she expects this year to be another very good year due to several planned projects in the Low Country. Agriculture and forest products are a big part of our exports, growing 23% in the last 10 years. And a lot of that came out of the PD. A recent study says agribusiness is responsible for more than 200,000 jobs right here in the Palmetto State. The Florence County Economic Development Partnership also found the value of what our farmers are growing jumped 60% in 6 years, adding a lot of strength to the state's agribusiness boom. The industry adds $40 billion a year to our economy. The South Carolina Department of Agriculture looking to increase that impact another $10 billion to $50 billion by 2020.
An update for you right now about the recommendations on how to improve the downtown area in Myrtle Beach. It involves all of the land south of the pavilion to about Family Kingdom near the ocean front, which is also known as the South Mixed Use Area. The consultant group the city hired told leaders both long and short-term goals. They suggest leaders increase building code enforcement and increase police presence in the area for safety. Closing the streets for festivals was another idea. Plans for the next 5 years include working with Burroughs and Chapin to build a venue at the old pavilion site to host concerts and other events. Also extending the boardwalk further south and building some type of water park hotel is set to go in. That's an idea they have where the zip line is. The Downtown Redevelopment Corporation will now look to see which ones they can accomplish. More help is being offered for those of you signing up for the insurance through the Affordable Care Act. Blue Cross Blue Shield of South Carolina has some open houses this weekend in the Grand Strand. You can stop by the Hilton Garden Inn at the Coastal Grand Mall Friday and Saturday in Myrtle Beach. The times are different for both days, and we have those listed on your screen. For those of you in Surfside Beach, the open house will be Sunday from noon to 6 p.m. at the Woodard Insurance Agency. That's on Beaver Run Boulevard. Remember, the deadline for open enrollment is Sunday.
It is 5:08 right now. We have more details for you about that home break-in that we first told you about on WMBF News today. Bond has been set for Stephen Simmons, Jr. He's charged with 2 counts of third-degree assault, burglary, and kidnapping. Myrtle Beach police say he broke the window to get inside a home on 10th Avenue South, then slapped and scratched a man inside. A woman told investigators Simmons then dragged her out of the house. After a struggle, he left the area. The victims told the judge that they knew Simmons and feared he would come back to the home if he was ever granted bond. A condition on the bond requires Simmons stay away from the victims and their home. He is expected back in court on March 3rd. In North Carolina, an investigation underway this morning after 75 photos of underage girls were posted online. Investigators say the girls attend William Hoff High School, but the pictures were taken off the high school's campus. They were uploaded into the Dropbox website. That website allows people to share files with anyone anonymously. Some of the girls involved just 14 years old.
I feel really bad for them because they're so young, and when they come here next year, that's what people are going to think of them as. And then their siblings, like, that's so awful. Like, they probably saw their sister's nudes. Like, that's terrible.
Yeah, detectives say all of the photos have now been removed from Dropbox. They are still looking for the person who posted those photos. A recent study reveals 22% of teen girls have sent or posted nude or semi-nude photos or videos of themselves.
The U.S. Senate has passed a bill to allow victims of child porn to get more money and damages from those who produce, distribute, or possess pictures of them. This follows a Supreme Court decision where someone only had to pay damages to victims caused by their actions. The new change makes them responsible for other things such as medical services, lost income, and therapy. A plan to move money from Social Security's retirement funds to keep the disability program is getting a chilly reception on Capitol Hill. Republicans want to shift $330 billion from retirement accounts over the next 5 years. This would prevent an estimated 19% cut in benefits. This is just a short-term fix, however, and they are looking for other ways to stabilize the program.
To a developing story for you now. The Board of Trustees of South Carolina State University will have an emergency meeting later today. It's all in response to lawmakers voting to shut the school down for 1 year because of those budget problems it's been having. The House advanced the plan yesterday. College leaders say closing the school, even for a year, would mean that the university would lose its accreditation. Federal financial aid would then no longer be offered to the school's students. Roughly 85% of students rely on that federal money to cover tuition. We'll have a live report ahead of today's meeting coming up for you at 6 this morning. A U.S. Coast Guard icebreaker now on its way to a fishing ship stuck in the ice with 27 people on board. It's in Antarctica. Officials say the 207-foot ship suffered damage to 3 of its 4 propellers and lost the ability to maneuver at all. The Seattle-based U.S. Coast Guard cutter Polar Star was sent to help. It'll have to break through several miles of 9-foot thick ice to get to that ship. The Polar Star expected to reach them later today.
Well, before you light up that next cigarette, you'll want to hear about new diseases being linked to smoking.
And you'll be able to leave the jacket at the office when going out for lunch. The temperatures to expect this afternoon are coming up next.
WMB